Hey everybody, welcome to Dispatches, an adventure motorcycle ride aimed at breaking down the stigma surrounding post-traumatic stress disorder and operational stress injury. My name is Mike Terry. I am a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces and I am affected by PTSD. I started Dispatches in 2018 when I started to notice the effects of withdrawal and isolation. Basically, my symptoms of PTSD upon retirement just kind of exploded. And I had to do something. So, I decided to grab a bike and start reaching out and talking to people. So today, I want to talk about maintenance of morale. And this is as much for the civilian audience as it is for anybody in the military or any veterans. So before we get to that, a couple of ride announcements. First things first, the group ride from the 1st to the 14th of August, that was running from Quesnel, BC, up to Tuktoyaktuk, the Northwest Passage was the name of the ride. I've made the difficult decision to cancel that ride. And the reason being that right now, with all sorts of travel restrictions, nobody really knows what the future is going to look like with the coronavirus and all the things going on right now. And to ask people to commit to shipping a bike, taking that time, setting it aside, and committing resources to planning on attending is not realistic. So I have canceled the Northwest Passage group ride. For the smaller regional rides, so that'll be Bomb the Bruce, Blue Mountain Bomber, we'll make those decisions about a month in advance. So, in terms of Bomb the Bruce, by the 18th of June, we'll make the decision of whether that ride's going to run or not. We'll do the same for Blue Mountain Bomber in the middle of August. And if they don't run, anybody who's pre-registered will be refunding those fees. So that brings me to the big ride. From the 1st of June to the 1st of September, riding all across Canada. That ride is still a go. And that's really kind of what brings me to today's topic, maintenance of morale. I've had people who've mentioned, hey, you're still going ahead with this ride, or you're not aware of what's happening, are you from the camp who thinks that this isn't serious and you're not taking this seriously? And no to both of those. I'm very well aware of what's happening, and I do think the coronavirus epidemic is or pandemic rather is very serious. So why am I still saying I'm going to do a ride across Canada connecting with people for 3 months in the midst of all this? Well, first things first, we don't know what life is going to look like come the 1st of June. If travel restrictions are lifted, if it is socially responsible for me to go out and connect with people across Canada, I'm going to go do it. So that being said, much like the other rides, there will be a deadline for deciding, and that deadline is going to be the 15th of May. So if things haven't changed by the 15th of May, or it looks like it's not going to be socially responsible, it's not going to be safe, or there's going to be travel restrictions, I am going to cancel that ride. So why still plan? Why still work away at it? Well, maintenance of morale. So maintenance of morale is it's actually one of the principles of war. So it's something that anybody who's been in the forces is going to be very familiar with. And basically what maintenance of morale is through tough times, well, it's exactly what it says, is maintaining morale. It's keeping spirits up. It's keeping people focused. It's keeping people moving forward. And that's exactly what I'm doing with the ride. So I came up with the ride in 2018. And it's something that matters to me. It's something that's been very positive in my life. I know it's been positive for other people. It gives me purpose. It gives me, it allows me to follow my passions. And those things in terms of maintaining morale are hugely important. So, I'm going to continue to engage in those activities, in order to see myself through. So it's a big part of my coping strategy for being isolated, locked in the house, for weeks at a time. But it's even a little bit more than that. It's working through this, having good solid routines, good self-care routines, Having something to apply your energy to. These are all things that, countless of us have done in places like Afghanistan and Africa and Bosnia. People would go to the gym, people turned into these like fiends to work out, and that's one of the reasons why. It's maintenance of morale. It's them putting their energy into something. So whatever it is you're doing, you see these memes where people say, you gotta learn to play the oboe and write a book and whatever else. And if you don't do that, you're not disciplined. Well, no, that's not true. Whatever it is that gives you passion and purpose, whatever it is that gives you something to positively focus your energy on, do it. And that's going to help you maintain morale. And I'll give you a quick example. So I'm big on getting out into nature. I'm big on, getting out once a day to go walking or hiking if I can. And I was doing that throughout all of this. And last week, the county I live in has instituted a $5,000 fine for using any of the public trail systems. I'm very fortunate. I live on a property that has about 20 acres of woodland on it. So over the past 2 days, I went out and I made my own walking trails. Just because it's important for me to get out in nature. It's important for my health in general, but it's also good for my mental health. And it was a big part of my coping strategy through this. I'd work away all morning, and then probably about midday, I'd go out and I'd go to the trails where, there wasn't anybody there. And if there were people there, I just wouldn't go. I'd go somewhere else. But that option's been taken away. So in order to maintain that morale, I expended the energy and put the time into finding a solution, finding another way. So yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is maintenance of morale. And you talk to any veteran, we've done it through the most, sometimes it's through really, some severe adversity, like Afghanistan. Sometimes it's just through severe boredom and having your movement restricted and being stuck somewhere, but you can't really do anything. And you find these ways to keep yourself entertained and keep your spirits up. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Find something to keep your spirits up. It doesn't have to be anything big. So another part of why I've continued to plan is the simple fact that this is going to end. We don't know what the future is going to look like, but this is going to change. The world changes. Here we sit in the midst of change. Who saw this coming 4 months ago, right? Certainly not me. But this is going to change. It's going to end one way or another. And if I just sit here and do nothing and I say, okay, my ride's not happening this summer, I'm just going to shut off and I'm not going to do anything. Well, then when this changes, I am not in a position, I don't know what's happening around me. I haven't put the work into planning. I'm not ready to exploit opportunity. So I'm putting the work in every day. I know that the work I'm doing, I can carry forward. I can, it might not go off as I plan, but I then have a plan that I can change and adapt to whatever the situation is. And about a year ago, I put out a video, I think it was titled Hope. And it was really about, contingency planning and what to do when the world falls apart. And I'll put the link in the description. But you may want to go check that out because, this dealing with change and new information constantly, it affects morale. It messes with your head and you feel like you can't plan anything and you can't do anything because you don't know if it's going to be worthwhile. Well, find a way to plan that, okay, I'm ready. I can do this in a month. I can do this in 6 months. If it has to wait till next year, it can wait till next year, but start putting the work in now. And when those opportunities open up, you're going to be in a position to just pounce on them. And, in terms of maintaining morale, that's huge. That is a huge part of keeping your mind focused on good things. So, the other part of this, and it's another principle of war, is called selection and maintenance of the aim. So, 2 years ago, I came up with the idea to start the dispatches ride, and it meant a lot to me. It was the purpose and passion that I needed to get me through a very tough transition period, and it's still getting me through a tough transition period. But that's been one of my big messages to people, particularly veterans. When you leave that life of service, you lose that purpose and that passion, and it leaves a big hole. So when you find, something you're passionate about, you find a purpose in life, something positive, that is what'll keep you going. That is what will maintain morale. So think about what matters and start to apply energy to things that matter. And, selection and maintenance of the aim is all about that. It's about, okay, this is what I decided to do. And no matter what happens, I'm going to keep working away at this. So as the world changes around me, and I sit there and go, okay, what am I going to do now? That's looked at through the lens of what am I going to do now that's going to keep me moving forward towards this goal. And, whether your goal is fitness and weight loss, or it's, to learn to play the oboe, if that matters to you, that is going to maintain morale. If that doesn't matter to you and it's not going to maintain morale, don't let somebody else tell you you need to do it. Go find something else, whatever it is for you. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with that this week. I want to thank everybody for sharing the videos. I want to thank everybody for following along and all the support that I've been getting. I truly hope to see you on the trail this summer. And if I don't, you had better believe I have some other plans to see me through this and to get out there and connect with you down the road when I can. Cheers.